Hello, I hope this finds you well. Now, what happens if you fail the medical exams or one of your derivatives fails the medical exams? So that's what we are going to look into. But as a preamble, we know that the United States government is very strict and very serious when it comes to immigration. And they have to put every individual, every person that wants to immigrate to the United States through several exams, several checks. And you have to pass these tests for you to be allowed entry into the United States. For you to become admissible to the US, you have to pass through these tests and be approved. Number one, you will be put to security check, thorough security check. They will scrutinize the form that you submit. For the diversity visa, it is the DS-260 form. They will have to go through every information presented in there and do a background check about every information that you have put there to ensure that you are approved security-wise. You are not a threat. You don't pose any harm. Number two, you have to be put through social examination. You have to be socially clean. They will check through your media, everything that you present online. What kind of content do you create? Is it harmful? Does it cause any interference socially? You have to pass that. And number three, you have to pass the veracity check. You have to provide all the information veraciously. Truthfulness is what is required. And by this, you are supposed not to lie about nothing. Talk truthfully about your marital status. Talk truthfully about your kids and your children's, your dependents. Talk truthfully about your academic background. Talk truthfully about your travel history, very important. So you have to be truthful. You have to pass that. And then you have to be clean as well when it comes to legal issues, the civil issues. You should have not committed certain crimes. You should be clean with no criminal record that will make you inadmissible to the United States. And finally, and that is the topic for today, you have to pass the medical exam. You have to be medically clean or medically approved. Everything that is listed by the Center for Disease Control in the United States regarding the health of all immigrants, you have to pass that. You have to be medically approved. And now, what happens if you yourself as the principal applicant, the main applicant, or one of your derivatives fails to pass the medical examination? First of all, after you receive the 2NL, the famous second notification letter, there are several things that you're supposed to do pre-interview. First of all, you need to register your interview online if your embassy requires you to. You're supposed to verify your academic documents. And number three, you are supposed to book a medical examination appointment for you and all your derivatives. And you attend the medical examination with all the members of your family. That is the nuclear family, the immediate family. That is the spouse and the kids that qualify. And when you attend the medical examination, you as the main applicant, together with the derivatives, will have to go through the medical examination. And remember, guys, that this medical facility that you're supposed to attend for your medical examination has to be the one approved by the United States government. You have to go to that. And what that facility is mandated to do is to ensure that everyone that is applying for immigration passes all the medical tests, all the medical examinations as listed by the CDC. And so they will examine you and also the derivatives. And you, as the principal applicant, you have to pass all the medical examination. You should not be having any communicable disease, like, for example, the tuberculosis and also the gonorrhea, and name them. You have not to have those diseases that are of public harm as listed by the Center for Disease Control. You also have to be mentally fit. You should not have a mental condition that has a record of you causing harm to the public. You as well should not be a drug addict. You should not be taking these drugs that are not required. And if you pass those tests, then your examination is successful. Then your derivatives will have to pass through the medical check and also pass all those checks. And then they will give you or administer to you and all your beneficiaries all the required vaccinations that you might not be having. So having passed all those checks, every one of you will be eligible to go for the interview. So let us come to the question. What happens if one of you fails the medical exam? Will it affect the entire case? So let's begin with the principal applicant. If the principal applicant is found with these communicable diseases and therefore not qualified, he will not be qualified for a visa. He will be inadmissible into the United States. And therefore, since he is or she is the principal applicant, he fails the entire family of getting the visa because he is the one that was selected. He's the one that is the principal applicant. So every other person cannot get a visa because the principal applicant has failed the medical exam. It is as that way simply stated. Now, this becomes interesting when it comes to the derivatives. If one of the derivatives fails the medical exam, and that is to mean he or she is found with the communicable disease or those other diseases that makes you inadmissible. If one of your derivatives fails the medical exam, the principal applicant passes together with the rest of the family members, then this one that failed the medical exam is the one that will get the visa refused. But the rest, the principal applicant plus the rest that have passed the medical check, will get their visas approved on a successful interview. So if a beneficiary fails an exam, the medical exam, then the principal applicant together with the others that have passed will continue to the interview and their visas will be approved, whereas the one who failed the medical exam will have his or her visa not approved. And that is to mean the principal plus those who qualified will proceed into the United States minus this one that did not qualify. So if a beneficiary fails the medical exam, it does not affect the whole case. But if the principal applicant fails the medical exam, then he or she affects the entire family in this regard. And therefore, this comes as a bonus tip. What ought you to do? And I normally advise everyone on this, that if you check the results and you get yourself selected, ensure that you together with your family, you go for an early diagnostic check to check whether you have all these diseases that can render you inadmissible. You get diagnosed early so that you may start treatment early enough such that when the interview comes or the medical examination comes, you might have been through with the treatment, or you might be almost through with the treatment. And by so doing, you make your case safe. So that is what I wanted to cover in this video, and I hope you've gotten all the points. Please, as usual, don't forget to subscribe, because I've realized majority of our viewers have not subscribed. I don't know why. Please subscribe if you have not, and also like the video. The algorithms favor the likes. Please like the video immensely, share with your friends, and let's meet in the next one.